Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
Olupapula
Lwaki? The customer of Munansi was Robert. But was not reading the people Olupapula lwa UPC.
Ate lwaki?
Lies.
Yalinga propaganda. Kuchamuukiriza na kumwanira.
Robert was number one customer for Munansi.
Ng'asoma Munansi.
Yafulumanga mu Lungereza ne mu Uganda at one time. It was talking about press freedom. Munansi bamugala yonna waliwo printing bagitanga security printers. Nga yaseba na kizito. Ne bagigala.
Nga lwaki?
Bagala bamuwanga. Ab'Olupapula lwanga bagamba mbu amazina ga Nakwale.
Amazina ga Nakwale nga lwaki bazina?
Muwanga. Yayawulidde mu mpapula z'amawulire yabayololiyo. Amazina ga Nakwale. Zimakula nandika nakataba amazina ga Nakwale avuma Muwanga. Naye nga Ngabo afuluma mu red mu blue ne black yeyita wa UPC.
Ngabo mu red blue ne black.
Bamuyola. Amazina ga Nakwale. Nabagamba olunaku lumu. Nti abantu babeera mu gavumenti babeera bakulusa. Naye mbagamba nti mu 7 agere ku lunaku olw'okulimba balangire nti gavumenti yebagiwambye. Bali bakikula alabe baminisita abazina amazina.
Museveni agezesa.
Kigeze nga olunaku lwakulimba ate security yiye. Abe exposing alabe. If you want to know the cannibals on the village, throw the cops away. Nemwekweka. Mulaba abazina ebitambo bibiko.
Bwe musuula ekivundu enjuki ensowera ne zijja. Akatambi kalimu kitamali. Simyeno gwe agitegeera owanena sakalindeko katono kakano.
Last time. You remember the way you really wanted the things to go. I normally tell you, Andrew, I normally tell you that whatever thing you need to do, always consult your peers. We are your friends. You do not have to just go and tackle left, tackle right. I mean, there are certain things you truly need to understand. Yes, you are a very intelligent man. And I always tell you, no matter what happens, sometimes anger can take you over. But remember what the professor told you, that emotional intelligence is one of the best attributes a man of intelligence needs to own at all times. And I remember very well, you are a very good practitioner of that. You are a very good influencer. And you have really talked to so many people. When I look at your articles, those that you write, really they are full of emotional intelligence. Look at when you went to NOP. It was an exercise of emotional intelligence. And actually, the way you were explaining issues, it was total reason. It was total logic. It was rationality at maximum play. So at this moment, I wouldn't expect you to go gag on genocide. Why would you? You shouldn't go gag on Uncle Sam. These are your mentors. These are the people who have raised you, who have made you, who have always at all times negotiated for you. So these are the same people you need at all times. I see no reason why you should show your back permanently. That for you cannot reconcile with them. No, you have to reconcile because reconciliation is part of it. So they sent me to you to particularly tell you that you need to rise. You need to rise again. Yes, if the NOP strategy failed, you don't have to present yourself into hiding. You don't have to go into total silence. You don't have to keep robbing that, yes, NBS frontline, you host me, or you give me a part of the morning breeze. I mean, you are more than that, really. You are more than that. You always have to keep up the spirit of what you want. You look at how your rival, Tamale Mirundi, does it. The man keeps his pace, no matter the circumstance, no matter the waves that try to sway him off his course. He normally gets back to his feet confidently, with or without losses, with or without gains. He stays like a very powerful ship in the sea. But if just one thing, out of emotional disagreement, you choose to resent yourself into the total depreciation, it really doesn't add up. It really doesn't add up. There are several tasks ahead that we need to address, and if we can do that, really, we can always become better people. Don't you really see that personally? Can't you try to digest that in your mind and your heart, and then you come up with something very staunch to your own cause, to your own personality, to your own integrity, and whatever you lost can be recovered. That is normally how I see life. That is normally how I see life. Now, my colleague, let me tell you this. There are several things that really happened, and I don't want to repeat them. There are several things I talked about before I even left to go to NOP. There are particular things that I personally told Uncle Sam that there are several mistakes you have made me do, and you never come back to me to tell me that, you see, Andrew, this was wrong and you have to do it this way, rightly. But it is always a blame game. Somebody simply calls you and torments you psychologically. So you become a useless person before somebody. Somebody proves to you that you are an idiot, yet in reality, you have constructed him. You have run his secret errands. You have run his evil cult for quite some time. So those are the things I really don't want. You see, I'm very close and very, 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 very closely. Actually, how can I? We are like blood brothers with the Phantom Horse. I normally go to him and tell him exactly what I want. If I go wrong, he tells me, you know what, Andrew, just keep quiet a bit. Take your time. Take your time. Actually, when he tells you take your time, he can even call you after some time that, have you really relaxed? You feel at home. This is your home. We are your friends. We are your brothers. We are meant to be forever, but not this kind of humiliation. I construct my whole project, putting in my own resources, my own time. You get it? I go out and defend it to His Excellency, of course, and he accepts it, that this is a very important project. Then thereafter, somebody goes bad mouthes you, they pick me like chicken, I'm grilled unknowingly, and each and everything that was talked against me was a total allegation, a very false allegation. But I had to swallow it. I had to swallow my pride and listen to each and everything that I was told, only to realize that my own mentor, my own godfather, is the same person conspiring against me, against my future, against my success. So, such a thing, how do you expect me to deal with such a people? I also have a destiny. I also have my own personal dreams. And every regime comes and goes. Obata one left, Amini left. Obata two left, even this regime will leave at any one time, and it will leave us here, very alive, because there are several damages that have been caused by such people who never want to listen to anyone. Those that feel that impunity is like a sea, they must float forever. So that is what the main problem is. So sometimes I totally don't blame Tamale Mirundi, because I would behave exactly the same way. The only challenge I have is that I have already intertwined with so many things with you people. That's why it is very hard to avoid. But had I known, I have just behaved like Tamale Mirundi, that the moment you exit, there's totally nothing to leave behind. You simply have an independent life which cannot be interfered by anyone. So those are such things that I should have done earlier. So I totally regret dealing with those people. Don't blame me for that. Don't blame me for that, because I have felt enough of it. Each and every property, each and everywhere, I have toiled for it, to the extent that even when they send me to do for them their project, they give me something very little. Just the peanuts is what they can give. It is only peanuts that they can offer. So normally for you to survive, to gain something, whenever they send you somewhere, be it maybe go for this and make a project, we are expecting 5 million. So you make sure you go there and negotiate for 7 million. Because you know, when you bring in the 7 and give them their 5, from the 5, they're going to give you 100,000. So such a people who think everything belongs to them, they are very hard to deal with. So that is why sometimes when you see me acting mischievously, do not blame me. These are the people who are causing it. They have total mischief in their psyche. They never understand each and everything. Hail to Tamale Mirundi, for he knew them. He knew these people earlier. When he exited, he chose to go and never to come back. See how many mistakes they have made. They have made us do. Including you yourself, you are still here because you still have the strength, you still have the position, they can still rely on you. And above all else, for you don't care how much pounding they do pound at you. But they are pounding you, Tamale Mirundi is pounding you, His Excellency very soon will be pounding you. You see how Bamegeme was also pounding you, everybody will pound you until the very time when you start feeling the heat, when they are no longer there to protect you. Currently, I'm not protected by anyone. I only run to Afanda Muhoz. He's the only person who can really listen to me and tell me, you know, Andrew, this is wrong. This is how you have to do it. But these are the same people you deal with at all times, during the day, during the night, during the light, during the dark. But at the end of the day, all the achievements go to them. Anything that comes as a supply, call it a commission, is very, very, very minute. Just like this is all they can offer. So what kind of people those are? So when you see me acting mischievously, do not think that I'm just a foolish man. Do not think that I have lost my emotional intelligence. I really have it, and I always have it. I move with it, and I'm very careful before I speak, before I do anything. If I resent to silence, I chose to go into silence. I chose to go into abeyance. I know how to retrieve myself, and I will come out, bouncing and with a heavy weight to also pound those who have pounded me. If Tamale Mirundi knew, and if I knew earlier, we would be friends by now. But I chose to choose a wrong path, thinking that I have friends I cannot lean on. Unfortunately, these are friends when they're benefiting from you. They are total parasites. Extreme parasites who will use you and hurt you at the end of the day. So because I'm hurting, everybody knows that I'm hurting. But who cares? No one cares apart from you who came and said, no, I should talk to Andrew. So you come to my house because you had a purpose. Let me hope nobody sent you to come to my place, because if I get to know that, I'm going to eject you. I'm very sorry. I can eject you if somebody has sent you. Actually, I've not been sent by anyone. I chose it myself. Remember, I've been calling you personally to ask how you are. Yes, you have done so, and you have always been calling me, and that is very good. And it is you, Afanda Muhoz, and just a few others who have always been calling me to ask me, you know, how are you doing? How are you moving? So when I go into my activism, I go to my page and post up against Noob. I do my battles just there. I'm not doing it for anybody. I'm only doing it for myself. As opposed to Afanda Muhoz, because that one is my friend. But when it comes to the cronies of His Excellency, most of those people are very bad. Most of those people are extremely very bad. They will use you and dump you. And at the end of the day, they want all the mud on your face. That is the major problem I'm only seeing. And I'm just cautioning you. Always be very careful. There are several steps, certain steps actually, you should avoid doing when you're dealing with these people. At times, also think about hunting for your own self. You should not be a hunting dog for your master alone. First hunt for yourself. That is what I've realized. Because normally after hunting for them, you see the peanuts. How much worse would you be having? Or if I leaned on them from the very first beginning, what would I be having? And for the times I started leaning on them, how much have I earned? What wealth have I earned? When my Mercedes-Benz got an accident, is there anyone who came to give me a coin to have it repaired? I always had to do it myself, and I fully did it myself. I have been having runs, and I've been suffering even during the lockdown. Is there anyone who came to my rescue to tell me that, you know what, Andrew, you're not working, and your suppliers are demanding a lot of money, calling you day and night? Is there anybody? When I pleaded, who helped me? When I went to pick a lot of money for somebody, how much was I rewarded? I was just rewarded by insults. from Tamale Mirundi to tell me how I went and picked 5 billion from Bank of Uganda. Everybody was denying each and everything, just ended on my head. So that is what the entire problem is. So I'm not going to work for these people again. I'm going to work for myself, and any kind of task that they call me for, it should be paid for, and it should be paid handsomely. I'm not going to do that again. I understand your fury, and I would actually request that, yes, it is very true. And I see the truth in this whole thing. But now what I would suggest, dear, I need to make an arrangement where we need the reconciliation. Because as we're speaking now, there is a very, very wide gap because you're missing. These people, they are not professional at all in what they do. They have been so much used to the authoritarian approach, where they send you to do something, you work it out for them, then after you get that moral commission they normally give. So now I'm suggesting we need you on board. My brother, we need you on board. This time we have a challenge, and we need a very good author. We have a very strong challenge, but now it doesn't cross to the masters, those that have hurt you. Now we have Raya. There is $400 million which is going to be injected into the country from the World Bank. It is a loan for Rural Electrification Agency. Now the challenge there is His Excellency is using a microscope to look at all the activities that are happening. Then there was a Chinese company, of course you know who headed it, who owns it, which was audited, and actually His Excellency chose to block it from participating in a bidding for the contract of connecting power lines into the rural areas, which had been designed to fulfill the promises of His Excellency's 2016 campaigns. Now, that company, we expected to get something. Then there is another cable supplier who was also blacklisted by His Excellency and told them point blank that do not engage yourself in the projects, having distributed substandard wires, and also the other company which was providing substandard poles that were not treated, many of which after about 7 to 10 months, they started collapsing because of termites. Now, after having these people eliminated,